Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Podcast Every Day. I'm Alex.
And I'm Sarah. So glad you're joining us today for another fascinating episode.
Absolutely. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an episode.
Yes, please do. We love having you as part of our learning community. And today, Alex, we're diving into a topic that I think hits home for so many people.
It really does, Sarah. We're going to talk about something many of us experience but rarely discuss openly. The unspoken grief of outgrowing friends you thought would last forever.
Oh, that's such a poignant way to put it, Alex. It's a bittersweet reality of life and personal growth, isn't it? We'll explore why this happens, how to navigate those feelings, and even some useful vocabulary along the way.
Exactly, it's a universal experience, and understanding it can help us process those emotions. So grab your notebooks and get ready for a deep dive into friendship dynamics.
Let's do it. This is going to be a really insightful conversation.
So let's really dig into what we mean by the unspoken grief of outgrowing friends you thought would last forever, and why this topic is so relevant for our English learners.
Absolutely, Alex. This isn't just about sad feelings. It's about a very common human experience that gives us a rich vocabulary to discuss personal growth, relationships, and emotional intelligence. For example, that phrase outgrowing friends itself is a fantastic idiom.
It is when you outgrow something, whether it's clothes, a hobby, or a friendship, it means you've developed or changed so much that it no longer fits or suits you. It implies a natural progression, not necessarily a negative judgment.
Exactly. It's like, when I was a teenager, I was obsessed with collecting stickers. But as I grew up, my interests shifted, and I outgrew that hobby. It wasn't that stickers were bad, just that they weren't for me anymore. The same can happen with people.
A perfect example, Sarah, and tied to this idea is drifting apart. This phrase describes when friends gradually become less close over time, often without a specific fight or incident. It's a slow, natural separation.
Oh, that's so true. I remember having a really close friend in college, but after graduation, we moved to different cities, and our lives just took different paths. We didn't have a big falling out, we just slowly drifted apart. Now we barely talk, which is a bit sad, but it happens.
That's a very relatable story, Sarah, and it often leads to what we call a sense of loss, a feeling of sadness or regret when something or someone important is no longer a part of your life. It's not always as intense as the grief of a death, but it's still a significant emotional experience.
Right, a sense of loss captures that quiet sadness perfectly. It's not always overtly expressed. And that brings us to our last phrase for this segment, bittersweet memories. These are memories that evoke both pleasure and sadness, a mix of happiness for the past and a tinge of sorrow for what's changed.
That's a beautiful way to put it, Sarah, like looking at old photos with a childhood friend. You smile at the fun times, but there's also that little pang of we're not like that anymore.
Exactly. So, understanding these phrases, outgrowing friends, drifting apart, a sense of loss, and bittersweet memories, will not only help you talk about this universal experience, but also deepen your understanding of human emotions in English.
Indeed, it's about more than just vocabulary, it's about cultural context and emotional nuance. We're setting the stage for a really insightful discussion.
All right, everyone, now that we've laid the groundwork, let's hear these concepts in action. We have a fantastic role play for you featuring Nicole and Michael, who are catching up after some time apart. Listen closely for how they navigate the nuanced feelings of a changing friendship. Michael, is that really you? Oh my goodness, it's been ages.
Nicole, wow, I almost didn't recognize you. You look great. What a coincidence running into you here.
You too. I'm just here grabbing a coffee. It feels like. What? 5 years since we last properly hung out.
At least. I remember we used to be inseparable back in high school, always together.
Definitely. Those were the days. I mean, we tried to keep in touch after college, but it just faded, didn't it?
Yeah, I guess we just drifted apart. No big drama or anything, just life happening, you know.
Exactly. I think I really outgrew that phase of my life, the one where we were constantly together. My interests changed so much.
I completely understand. I feel the same way. It's not that I don't cherish those memories, but I also feel like I've become a different person.
Me too. It's kind of a bittersweet feeling, isn't it? Like, I look back at our old photos and smile, but there's also a little sadness that we're not that close anymore.
Definitely bittersweet. I felt a real sense of loss for a while, like I'd done something wrong. But then I realized it's just a natural part of growing up.
Exactly. It's not about blaming anyone. We just evolved into different people. I mean, my life now is so different from what I imagined back then.
Mine too. I've been focusing a lot on my career, and honestly, a lot of my old friendships didn't really fit into that anymore.
I get that. It's like you hit a point where you realize some connections just aren't serving you anymore, even if they were once super important.
Yeah, it's a tough realization, but an important one for personal growth. So, what have you been up to, Nicole? Any big changes?
Oh, loads. I'm actually starting my own business next month. It's terrifying but exciting.
That's incredible. Congratulations. See, this is what I mean. We've both grown so much. It's nice to see you're thriving.
Thanks, Michael. You too. It's good to know that even if we've outgrown our old friendship, there's still a connection and respect there.
Absolutely. It's always good to see you, Nicole. Maybe we can grab coffee again sometime, no pressure, just a casual catch-up.
I'd like that a lot. It was really nice seeing you, Michael. Take care.
You too, Nicole. Bye.
All right, everyone, welcome back. That was a great conversation between Michael and Nicole. Now let's break it down and unpack some of the fantastic language they used.
Yes, Alex, it really was. I loved how naturally they used all the phrases we just discussed. For example, Nicole's line, "I think I really outgrew that phase of my life, the one where we were constantly together." It perfectly illustrates the concept of outgrowing someone or something.
Absolutely, and Michael echoed that sentiment when he said, "I also feel like I've become a different person." This shows a B1 level understanding of personal growth, but when combined with outgrew, it elevates to a B2 expression of evolving identity.
That's a great point, Alex. And speaking of B2, Michael's phrase, "we just drifted apart." No big drama or anything, just life happening, is a classic example of how to express a natural, non-confrontational separation. It's so common in real life.
Indeed, and notice the phrasal verb keep in touch, Nicole said. "We tried to keep in touch after college, but it just faded." Keep in touch means to maintain communication. When something fades, it gradually disappears. A more formal alternative for faded could be diminished or waned.
Oh, and I loved their use of bittersweet feeling and sense of loss. Nicole said, "It's kind of a bittersweet feeling, isn't it?" And Michael added, "I felt a real sense of loss for a while." They both capture the nuanced emotional complexity perfectly. For a B1 learner, you might just say it's sad but also happy, but bittersweet conveys so much more.
Exactly, Sarah. And did you catch when Michael said, "It's not that I don't cherish those memories"? To cherish something means to hold it dear, to value it deeply. It's a stronger, more emotional verb than just remember or like. It really highlights the positive aspect of their past friendship.
And Nicole's line, some connections just aren't serving you anymore, even if they were once super important, is a fantastic way to talk about growth and boundaries. Serving you means benefiting you or fulfilling a purpose in your life. It's a more advanced way of saying, it's not good for me anymore.
Excellent observation, Sarah. And finally, when Michael says, it's a tough realization but an important one for personal growth, he uses realization, which means a sudden understanding or awareness of something. It's a more sophisticated way of saying it's hard to understand or it's hard to accept.
Wow, so many great phrases packed into one short conversation. It really shows how everyday dialogue can be rich with emotional depth and advanced vocabulary. Our listeners can definitely try incorporating some of these into their own conversations.
Absolutely, and that brings us to the end of our analysis for this segment. Coming up next, we'll dive deeper into how to cope with these feelings and practical advice for navigating evolving friendships.
That's right, Alex. Now that we've explored the what and why of outgrowing friendships, let's shift our focus to the how. How do we cope with these complex emotions, and how do we make space for new, fulfilling connections?
Excellent point, Sarah. It's one thing to understand the phenomenon, but another entirely to navigate the emotional landscape. One key phrase here is emotional resilience. This refers to our ability to bounce back from difficult emotional experiences.
Yes, emotional resilience is so important. It's not about avoiding pain, but about processing it and moving forward. For example, instead of dwelling on the past, someone with good emotional resilience might say, "It's sad, but I'm focusing on the positive memories and what I learned."
Exactly, a common mistake here for learners is to confuse resilience with ignorance. They might say, I'm just ignoring my failings, which isn't resilience. Resilience involves acknowledging feelings, not suppressing them. The correct usage is to build emotional resilience over time.
That's a crucial distinction. And as we open ourselves up to new connections, another useful phrase is to cast a wider net. This means to broaden your search or your social circle, not just sticking to familiar places or types of people.
Right, if you're looking for new friends, you shouldn't just rely on your existing social groups. You might cast a wider net by joining a new club, taking a class, or volunteering. It implies being proactive in seeking out new relationships.
Exactly. Don't just wait for friends to appear. And a common error here is to use throw a wider net. While throw can sometimes be synonymous with cast a wider net is the established idiom for broadening your search. It sounds more natural and correct.
Good point, Sarah. And finally, when you do form new connections, you might find yourself forging new bonds. To forge a bond means to create a strong, lasting connection through shared experiences or effort. It implies a deliberate and often challenging process.
I love that image of forging. It's like a blacksmith working with metal, shaping something strong and durable. You don't just make a bond, you forge it through shared vulnerability, trust, and time. For example, after working on that project together, we really forged a strong bond.
And a common error is to say build a bond or make a bond. While those are understandable, forge a bond is much more idiomatic and conveys a deeper sense of effort and strength. It's a B2 level expression that really elevates your English.
So, to recap, remember emotional resilience for bouncing back, cast a wider net for finding new connections, and forge new bonds for building strong relationships. These phrases will help you articulate the process of moving forward after a friendship evolves.
Absolutely, understanding these concepts and the vocabulary associated with them empowers you to not only speak about these experiences, but to also process them more effectively in your own life. It's all part of personal growth. All right, everyone, let's hear another real-world example. This time, we have Adam and Sky discussing their fitness journeys. Listen out for those new phrases we just covered.
Hey Sky, long time no see. How have you been?
Adam, wow, what a surprise. I'm doing really well, thanks. You look different in a good way.
Haha, thanks. Yeah, I've been on a bit of a fitness kick lately, trying to get back in shape.
It shows you seem so much more energized. I remember a few years ago, you weren't really into working out.
You're right, I definitely outgrew that phase of my life. I used to spend all my free time playing video games, but now I prefer hiking or hitting the gym.
That's fantastic. I've been trying to get back into a routine myself. It's tough, though. I feel like I need to cast a wider net for activities I actually enjoy.
That's a great approach. Don't just stick to what you think you should do. Maybe try a dance class or rock climbing. You never know what you'll enjoy.
That's true. I've been thinking about trying a spinning class. I just need to build up my emotional resilience, I guess, to push through the initial discomfort.
Absolutely, that's key. It's not about being perfect from day one, it's about not giving up when it gets hard. You'll thank yourself later.
I'll keep that in mind. And actually, I'm hoping to find a workout buddy. I think it would help to forge new bonds with people who have similar goals.
That's an excellent idea. Having someone to motivate you and share the journey with makes a huge difference. I've met some great people at my gym.
Yeah, exactly. I'm tired of feeling isolated. I want to build those connections.
You totally should. And don't worry if it feels awkward at first. Everyone's usually open to meeting new people, especially in places like gyms or clubs.
Thanks for the encouragement, Adam. It really helps. I feel a bit more confident about trying new things now.
Anytime, Sky. Remember, it's a journey, not a destination. And it's okay to outgrow old habits or even old ways of thinking.
That's a really good perspective. Thanks for reminding me.
No problem. Maybe I'll see you at the gym sometime or on a hiking trail. Keep me updated on your progress.
I will, you too, Adam. It was great catching up.
Great conversation. Now let's break it down and compare B1 and B2 level language.
Absolutely, Sarah. This dialogue was a fantastic example of using our new vocabulary in a slightly different context, personal growth and habits. Let's start with Adam's opening line, "Hey Sky, long time no see, how have you been?"
Yes, that's a classic B1 greeting, very common and friendly. Sky's response, "You look different in a good way," is also quite natural for that level. The hesitation with the ellipses shows she's choosing her words carefully, which is a good natural speech pattern.
Indeed, then Adam says, "I definitely outgrew that phase of my life. I used to spend all my free time playing video games, but now I prefer hiking or hitting the gym." This is a great B2 application of outgrew, showing a clear shift in lifestyle.
And Sky responds with, "I've been trying to get back into a routine myself. It's tough, though. I feel like I need to cast a wider net for activities I actually enjoy." Her use of "cast a wider net" here is perfect and shows a B2 understanding of the idiom.
Exactly, a B1 learner might say something like, "I need to find more different activities." While understandable, "cast a wider net" is much more idiomatic and precise. And then Sky mentions, "I just need to build up my emotional resilience, I guess, to push through the initial discomfort."
That's a fantastic B2 usage of emotional resilience. She's not just saying, "I need to be stronger," but specifically identifying the emotional aspect of pushing through difficulty. The "I guess" is also a nice softener, making her sound more natural and less assertive.
Absolutely, a B1 learner might struggle to articulate that nuance, perhaps saying, "I need to be strong for this." Emotional resilience encapsulates that idea much more effectively. And then Sky says, "I think it would help to forge new bonds with people who have similar goals."
Another perfect B2 phrase, forge new bonds, conveys the effort and strength of creating new connections. A B1 student might say, make new friends or create new relationships, which are fine, but forge adds that extra layer of meaning.
And Adam's closing line, "It's okay to outgrow old habits or even old ways of thinking," is a nice summary, reinforcing the core theme of the episode. It shows a mature understanding of personal evolution.
Absolutely. This conversation really highlighted how our B2 phrases can elevate everyday speech, making it more nuanced and expressive. It's not just about using complex words, but using the right words for the right context.
Precisely, and for our listeners, practicing these phrases in different scenarios is key to internalizing them. Try to think about how you would express similar ideas in your own life using these B2 expressions. All right, everyone, let's do a quick recap of everything we covered in today's episode.
What a journey, Alex. We started by exploring the unspoken grief of outgrowing friends, learning phrases like drifting apart, experiencing a sense of loss, and cherishing bittersweet memories.
Exactly, our first audio conversation with Michael and Nicole beautifully illustrated these concepts, showing how friendships naturally evolve without drama, just different life paths.
Then we moved on to coping strategies, focusing on building emotional resilience, learning to cast a wider net for new connections, and the effort involved in forging new bonds.
And our second conversation with Adam and Sky demonstrated these ideas in the context of personal growth and fitness, showing how you can outgrow old habits and embrace new challenges.
We really broke down the B1 and B2 level usage for each phrase, emphasizing how these expressions add nuance and sophistication to your English, moving beyond simpler terms.
So, whether you're talking about friendships, hobbies, or personal development, you now have a richer vocabulary to articulate these complex, yet universal human experiences.
Absolutely. It's all about understanding the emotional depth and cultural context behind these phrases to truly elevate your English communication.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode.
Thank you so much for joining us on this insightful journey into navigating evolving friendships. We really appreciate you tuning in.
If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave us a comment below. We love hearing your thoughts and topic suggestions.
And remember, every conversation is an opportunity to practice and improve your English. Keep listening, keep speaking, and keep growing.
From Alex
And Sarah, thank you for joining us on English Podcast every day. We'll see you next time.